Hello. Day two of this whole thing. Um, well, let's just get straight into it. So, again, I worked from 6 to 2 today, so I woke up. The fuck. I woke up at 5 in the morning just to do my morning routine. I didn't do a workout today, but instead I read a little bit more about the philosophy of Aristotle. So yeah, and then following that, I just worked for another 8 hours, 6 to 2, as I stated. It wasn't that bad. I mean, the customers were all right, but I lived. Anyways, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is more about reading actually. So I've been reading more and more about Aristotle recently. So I'm on about I think 108, page 108, 109, one of the two, maybe between. And right now I'm on the subject of his metaphysics, specifically his potencies and his actualities. And to briefly summarize the whole thing of potencies and actualities, potency is basically one's one thing's potential, and then actuality is one thing's like actually living out that potential. For example, a tree seed, as Aristotle states, a tree seed has the potency or the potential to grow into a tree. And the tree itself is the actuality of that potency. So yeah, that's basically a quick summary of what I read or recently learned. And then following this, I'm actually been reviewing my notes regarding logic because I have like a little book of about logic, and I've been reviewing my notes about that just so I can get my my fundamental basics back, so then I could dive a little bit deeper into that. And yeah, so then following this, I've actually been looking into psychology, specifically the Stanford prison experiment done. I don't know how long ago. Honestly, I didn't look too much into when this was when this took place, but it was basically a psychological experiment done to see what people will do when they get into a place of power, and to see whether they were going to abuse their power or not. And this experiment was done between 24 students of the at the school Stanford University, and what they did was that they split this group of 24 students into two different groups, 12 prison guards and 12 prisoners, and they basically lived out what life was like in a prison. Like the prisoners had tasks to do throughout the day, and the guards basically had to exercise their power or be as guard like as possible to these prisoners. And what this experiment found out was that the people that were somewhat morally good or had somewhat of a good personality ended up getting consumed by this authority that they had or this power that they had, and then they ended up either sorry by physically abusing these prisoners or mentally abusing these prisoners. So these guards felt like they had a higher power, and then these prisoners themselves, they felt more belittled, and they were more submissive to these prison guards. And this experiment basically shows how different how do I explain this, how different social powers ended up can influence one's personality or behavior. So that's just a quick thing I learned. And then another thing I actually picked up was chess. I've been trying to get into chess because so I could learn how to strategize and think ahead better. Everyone talks about how chess, it's not only a game about brains, just looking at the piece and knowing what to do, but it's also being able to think ahead, whether that's one step or even 5 to 10 steps ahead. So, like, that's one thing I've always wanted to do. So, I've trying to incorporate more chess or more YouTube videos of chess, or maybe even more books of chess, so that I could learn how to play chess correctly and end up adopting some of the lessons I learned from there into my own personal life as well. And then I did end up actually following my diet. I fasted again until 2 o'clock. I broke my fast around 2:20 ish. I had my first meal there, and then I had my second meal at about 6:40. It was just a bowl of rice and a Filipino dish called machado. It's like this beef stew. I think that's the best way to put it. It's very very good. And yeah, and then so overall, what have I learned today? Well, I've learned as everyone, or as you guys have seen, I've learned a bit about psychology. I've learned a little bit more about Aristotle's philosophy, and I'm just trying to get my fundamentals back for logic. But I'm also planning on journaling and actually setting a routine up so that I'm not just winging it, just so I could actually distribute my time evenly and fairly so that I have tasks written down so then I could just check it off or cross it out whenever I'm done with it. So then I know where I'm at with my day and with my goals and with my tasks. So it'll keep me on, hopefully, it keep me on track a little bit more. Obviously, I can do it off the top of my head, but I think if it's more written, if it's actually written down, it'll keep me on track more, if that makes sense. And I also plan on journaling more just to see how I could think throughout the day so I could reflect. And I've also thought about incorporating some sort of like meditation, if not specifically like meditation where like I go into like this meditative state for like 30 minutes. No, just a form of deep thought for like at least 5 minutes. I think that will help me reflect as a person, just reflect on how I want what I want to do and how I want to be in the future. So yeah, overall, I think my greatest weakness today was, I don't know. I think I could have done a little better, but you know, I could always do a little better tomorrow. And I think I did better today than I did yesterday, so I'm making some progress at least, and that's what I'm looking for. Just some marginal improvements every day. That's all. As previously stated in my last video, just even if it's 0.1% better, it's still improvement. So yeah, overall, that was the end of day 2, and I hope that these next days, months, weeks, years can get better as time passes. So thank you.